Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Sasha. Thank you so much for tuning in again to my channel, Just Sasha. Here to give you things that are just Sasha, whether it's a review, life advice, vlog about me being a single mother, or just dealing with this thing called adulting that is not all that fun now that I'm grown and having to do it, right? So if you have not done it already, please subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you can be notified each and every time I do a video, and smash that like button so YouTube can know that you like what I have to say. So y'all, have y'all looked at this movie, The Reading, with Monique in it? That's affiliated with Lee Daniels. So I just done a video that was like 14 minutes long, but I forgot to leave putting some key information. So this is like take two of this video. But I took the time to actually get the names of the characters because I didn't have that. So y'all, this is my first time doing a movie interview review. So I hope y'all enjoy it. So let's get into how The Reading starts. First of all, let me tell you my experience was watching The Reading. It took me 2 days to watch The Reading. The reason why it took me 2 days is because the first scene had something so traumatic in it for me that I had to stop watching it. I had to watch some other stuff with my kids to get my mind off of what I saw, and then I had to return to the movie the next day. Like, the writer, Courtney Glade, was not playing at all. And then Lee Daniels and Monique and her husband were producers as well. Y'all, they weren't playing. Because, like, that first scene moved me. I cried. I'll tell you what happened. So the movie starts. Emma Leeden, who is Monique's character, walks into this beautiful house. She stops in the foyer. It's like something out of a sitcom. Everybody in the family is coming up and speaking to her. Of course, the kids coming up telling her about their day. She tells them to go up and, take baths and get ready for dinner because she loves to cook for her family. And then her husband comes to her and, they do their little kissy face. And she's like, I'm about to cook dinner, but I got something for you later. I'm like, Monique. But so they did that. And then he takes off into the office. He said he's had some things that he has to finish up. So she goes into the kitchen. She's cooking dinner. She's got like this blues song playing through the house. It's a real little mellow evening. And all of a sudden, we see on the outside, we see three intruders dressed in all black stopping in front of the door to come in. And they came in, and we see one by one. Of course, it talks about this in the Bible. You got to get the strong man first. So the first person we see them go try to get and do get is the husband. Then we see them go upstairs and get the daughter. And then they get the baby. And that's what got me. Because the baby was in the tub just playing just as contently. And they came and drowned that baby, y'all. You seen the baby fighting. And that's when I bust out in tears and turned it off. I didn't watch it for another 2 days. When I came back to it, I happened to see the end of that scene. And I seen what they did to Monique. They messed Monique up. They done knocked her out, hit her over the head with something, stabbed her with the knife she was cooking with, cut her fingers, took a chair, boom, put it on her neck because she was trying to crawl away. It hit her neck. And the next thing we see is a year later, we see her doing an interview with a woman about a book that she's written about the incident. And she has a stutter. Her speech is different, and she's on a cane. So she did survive. So the next scene that we see is this is where we meet the medium, the person that does the reading, and her team. Her name is Sky, and she's sitting across from a white guy that's like a younger college student, and he's trying to get in contact with his mother. Now they've got her plugged up to a heart monitor, and I guess to monitor her vitals and things like that, because I mean, you dealing with spirits, and I was always taught, it's saying in the Bible, there's no communication between here and there. So you ain't talking to that person, you talking to some demons. So yeah, you probably do need to be monitoring their vitals. So, but she's really talking to the people, but a part of it is like a hustle, because while she's talking to this person, she was like, I got your mom, and talking to her, and she was like, she wants you to donate money to this charity called Kids for Kids. And even the guy, he's like, why would she want me to donate to a kid's charity? And Sky, the medium, she said, don't question her. So I guess they hit that lick. So after we see that reading, Sky and Craig are at a lunch after it, and Sky's just completely disconnected. She's looking out the window. and he notices it, and they start talking about her experience, and she said, that person actually almost touched me. And he was like, well, what happens when they touch you? She said, you get possessed by him. So she kind of told him, hey, this is not something I want to do anymore. Well, the next scene, we see her home life. And Craig had actually mentioned something about her, you don't even know how you're going to pay tuition to go through school. And every other month, you're almost getting evicted. Like, we can't stop this right now. And then we see when we get home, she meets her mom. Her mom's talking to her about going to school. Her mom's real smart, too, because she's sitting there watching Jeopardy and answering all the questions. But the mom's like, I got a friend coming by later with some money. And Sky's like, they just going to come and leave, right? And the mom looks at her. And about that time, I'm like, oh, I know what's going on. I know exactly what mama doing. I know what mama doing. Okay, so we see that. And then the next day, the entire team, Sky, the medium, the guy, Craig. I'm not sure if Craig is her boyfriend or not. I'm not sure. I don't think I was paying attention. I should have been. But Craig, her friend, her female friend, Jessie, and it's a white boy that helps him too. He does the technology stuff, the recording and all that. Randy, they all meet, and Craig comes in and tells them about this big lick they about to hit, and he brings up Emma Leedon. He says their publicist wants them to come in and do a reading, and he said it's $100,000, and they gonna split that up 4 ways. So he's thinking, he ain't even ran it by, Craig hasn't even ran it by the other people, that Sky doesn't even want to do this anymore. And she feels put on spot about it, because that's what she thought the meeting was about, them saying that they weren't going to do it no more. And he come in talking about a new lick, and it's an offer that really can't none of them really afford to refuse. So she takes off. They have an altercation. She's like, I keep telling you this is real. I told you the other day I didn't want to do it, and you done put me on spot. But that's kind of how it ended. She walks off. Craig, the entire team, the team at the table don't know what's going on. Craig knows what's going on, but he knows this might not even happen. And then the next scene, we see Sky in the bedroom trying to listen to her music, and she hear her mama in the other room getting her back blown out. So, and that's when she called and said, hey, I'll do it. So finally, we are here at the reading. So we're at the reading. We meet Emma. We meet her publicist. And I didn't like the publicist's vibes. I already knew it was something shifty anyway with that publicist, because she was a little rough even with Emma when she was coming down the stairs. Because at this point, we seeing her, just as a character, she's limping and she can't hardly talk. No, they've heard what she's been through. So yeah, I didn't really like the publicist too much. But we meet the publicist. And Sky insists upon going on a small tour around the house. So Emma takes her on a tour around the house while Craig, Randy, and Jessie set up in the room for the reading. And they stop at Kendall, her daughter's room. And they can't, that was not, I believe the blood of Jesus. I don't know why that phone just cut on like that. That was scary. But they go to Kendall's room, and Emma breaks down. She's saying, I've not moved anything since it happened. And, and then that's when Sky is like, wow. That's when she really starts getting the heart for it. She's like, okay, it's not even about the money to me. Like, I really want to help this woman talk to her family. So she's got that new vibe about, like, now I really want to help this lady. Look at her. So she gets down there. They plug her up to the heart monitor. For some reason, the Wi-Fi doesn't work anywhere in the house but by the door. So they're in like a dead zone. So they still record it, but they have to record it not using the internet, I guess. So they start the reading, and immediately it all goes left. Sky's she's burning up hot. Her eyes are in the back of her head. She's stiff. She's grabbing the wood on the table. That nobody has ever seen her be like that at a reading. Because like I said, they used to hustling people. They know she can do it, but they've never seen her really go that far. And in my opinion, I think, like I said, says in the Bible, you don't have no communication with here and there. So I think that those spirits fed on the fact that now she's vulnerable. Now they know they can really get in her and do what they got to do because she was vulnerable. Because now, like I said, she wanted to do it specifically because she really wanted to help this lady, and she was never on that before. That's why she didn't get that response. So she starts doing the reading, and she starts talking about, what the kids like. She said, Monique, Emma, you like the color teal, not light green, not dark green, just teal. Little basic stuff about the kids, stuff they like to eat, their favorite color. And I guess it's so overwhelming to Emma, she gets up and walks out. Well, the publicist goes in and talks to her, and she said, hey, listen, she said, I did tell them a little bit of stuff. Just, don't be too freaked out. So they go back in there, they sit down again. They sit back down again. This is when it gets real, because spirit starts speaking through this girl. And she hears a conversation that Emma's husband was having about going broke. And she hears the oldest daughter, talking about some things. The publicist didn't tell her any of that stuff. So now they know it's real. So Emma's like, Emma's getting upset. And the publicist is like, stop, just stop it. No more, no more. It's too much. It's too much. Well, we see Emma get up and leave this time. This time, Emma don't come back like Emma. Emma come back like Precious's mama, really. Emma come back as Monique. Because Emma gonna lock them doors. And she come back here and pop a cap in the Craig character. And everybody's shocked. The whole team, Sky, Jesse, Craig, even though he been shot, Randy, they all take off running. She shoots the publicist too. She kneels down and tells the publicist, tell the family I said hi, and gives her a kiss. Now, it's starting to get real. So it goes through like a whole cat and mouse situation. She killed we're going to call him white boy Randy. She killed him. She didn't just shoot him. She beat him in the head with a hammer. Jessie, which is the female friend, she was up underneath the cabinet and seen it all. She manages to get out, and she remembers that the only place she can get phone service is by the door. So she's trying to figure out how to get to the hallway and not alert Emma that she's out of wherever she was hiding from. And then Sky and Craig are upstairs. They're having their conversations. Well, they finally figure out a way. Craig decides, he said, hey, look, I'm going to go out there and distract her. And then you do what you got to do. So he hops out and distracts her. He doesn't get killed immediately. I think he just goes to another spot. I can't remember. I think he just went to another hiding spot, but he hopped out and just started hollering like so she could know that she hadn't killed him. So then Sky and Jesse wind up bumping into each other. They devise a plan to try to beat on the window and get the attention of the postman that's delivering mail. But Monique already told them that the doors are metal locked and everything else. You think she would forget to put in soundproof glass? Like, the woman, yeah, she's crazy. So they beating on the door, and the postman sees them, but they done stopped. Now, I don't know why they just stopped and quit beating on the door when they seen them turn around. They should have kept doing it. And the postman like, man, y'all scared me. And he walks off. So there goes that plan. So eventually we come to Sky and Jesse talking in the closet, and they're like, Jesse's like, hey, this is the realest part. She's like, hey, we from the hood. We done fought chicks with razors and everything else. This chick done used all these bullets in this gun. We can take her. So they start planning to jump on her. So we find out downstairs, we get downstairs, and Monique is sitting on the stairs because she like, you know what? I don't need to play no cat and mouse with y'all. This is my house. And I know for a fact she can't get no phone service, but right here. So I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to wait. So that conversation was funny because she got up off the steps. Monique was facing away from her, but she stood up when Sky was walking behind her. She stood up and she said, is that my sweater? Because they done put on fighting clothes. They ready to go to war. Well, we find out that Monique is actually the one that killed her family. She just comes out and says it. And it's crazy because if you think about the way that they died, that would be somebody that had tactics with them. Because of course you're gonna take the man down first, and then you're gonna go get the kids. You're gonna get the man, you're gonna get the oldest one, and then you're gonna get the baby. So she admits that she done all that. So now they really ready to fight. So the girl Jessie done came from behind Monique, jumped on her. They throwing. Boom, boom. Monique throwing them around. All kind of stuff. Well, finally they lose, and Jessie winds up on the ground and she stabs her to death. So the movie is coming to an end. It ain't nobody but Sky and Emma. And Sky winds up finding a stray bullet that didn't meet a mark. and she finds where the gun was on the floor, and she puts the bullet in the gun, and her and Monique have a final conversation. She says, she said, you may have all this money now because you killed your family. You have nobody to share it with. She said, but you're going to have a sad, lonely life because you don't have anybody here with you. And Monique says, I'm good. And then she goes to try to stab Sky, and Sky has the gun and pulls it out and shoots her. And Monique dies on top of her. Now, the next thing we see is Sky on the same show with the same journalist talking about how she got out of the house. And she says, well, I was able to figure out the security codes and get out. And the lady is like, that is crazy that Emma was sitting right in your seat and she lied to us about everything that happened. And she looks at the camera. She said, it's crazy, ain't it? So Monique's spirit probably possessed her at that time. That's how she got out of the house. So y'all, that movie was so flipping scary. Like Lee Daniels, Monique, her husband, Courtney, I think his name is Glaude. I hope I'm getting that right. They did their thing. That was good. That should have went to theaters. If you ask me, I think it could have done real good. I think it could have done very well. And watching it as a writer too, the only thing I would have done different as a writer is when Jesse and Sky was having that conversation and she was like, no, I missed the part. Monique told them that she killed the family and she said they was going broke. And she said, not just any kind of broke. We was going the kind of broke where your address changed. And she said Emma wasn't going back to the hood. As a writer, if that would have been me writing that script, and I hope Lee Daniels, whoever watched this, if I was a writer and I was writing that script, I would have had Jessie, before she jumped on her, I would have had her say, you didn't want to go back to the hood where the hood done came to you. That's what I'd have had her say, even though she got killed. And then they should have rocked her. That's me as a writer. I would have said that. But anyway, it was a good movie, y'all. It was a really good movie. Just don't watch it in the dark. Don't watch it by yourself. If you real squeamish about stuff like kids dying and stuff like that, just be prepared for that in the first 5 minutes. Get your tissues ready. Just, because I can't even watch ID Discovery. I'm a criminal justice major, and when I used to have to do my papers on mass murderers about people killing kids, I can't tell you how many times I had to stop writing my paper to go cry. Like, I don't like hearing about kids being hurt. I don't like hearing about nobody being hurt. But that's the only thing. I think they could have left something to the imagination with that baby getting drowned. It's a good movie, y'all. Watch it. Like I said, don't watch it in the dark. Don't watch it by yourself, and you'll be all right. But anyway, good job, Monique. Glad to see you back. I'm glad to see you and Lee Daniels is good now. Y'all keep making stuff like that. Keep making y'all paper. And if y'all need a writer, I'm her. I'm her. But anyway, y'all, until next time, please like, subscribe. This is my first time doing a review on a movie. Y'all give me some good feedback. All right. But anyway, I'll see y'all later.